What's up guys, welcome back today to another video on this channel. Hope you're all doing amazing, fantastic. Yes, we're back in this place. Again, beautiful places. Anyways, in today's video, we're going to be going over the final book in the Harry Potter series, which is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. And I mentioned in the previous video that I've been rereading the entire Harry Potter series word to word all the way from the first book. And I recently finished rereading Deathly Hallows and it's left me completely hollow because I didn't want the series to end, but it has. There's still Cursed Child, but you know what I mean. So finally the Harry Potter series has come to an end and I'm going to be bringing all of the information for that book in this video. So let's go right into it. Before we jump into the video, it takes a long time to make these videos and to come up with scripts for these videos, so it's super appreciated if you click the subscribe button. I know I say this in every video, but please click the subscribe button. It helps. Sometimes I wish I could do magic, like, force you, imperiuse you to, like, subscribe or something. Anyways, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. So this book picks off after the death of Albus Dumbledore and the mission that he has left with Harry, Hermione and Ron to get rid of all of Tom Riddle's Horcruxes to finally kill Lord Voldemort. So in the starting few pages, we get to see a Snape's point of view from Snape and Yaxley going to Voldemort's meeting, where Snape has information from a secret source that Harry will be moved on the upcoming Saturday, whereas Yaxley says that an Auror has let slip under torture that Harry will not be moved until the 30th. But obviously Voldemort trusts Snape more, and obviously Snape has the correct information because he was part of the Order of the Phoenix. Oh great, not two dogs are barking. And the timing and the date that Snape gives Voldemort is exactly correct, and that's what everyone was planning on doing. But Mad-Eye Moody still had one more trick up his sleeve, that was using Polyjuice Potion to transport 7 Harrys across the skies. We all know about Mad-Eye Moody's paranoia. He's horribly scared of everything and he is extremely paranoid. Yes, bird. See, the bird agrees. Mad-Eye Moody is extremely paranoid, so he creates 7 Harry Potters, each one looking an identical copy of Harry Potter with his glasses as well as his clothes exactly similar. And they are all going to be traveling with different people in the Order of the Phoenix. The actual Harry will be traveling with Hagrid on his bike. The other people will be traveling with Bill, Mad-Eye Moody, Kingsley, and obviously Ron and Hermione and also Harry. Now, the most hilarious thing in this scene is where Fred and George drink the Polyjuice Potion, look at each other and say, "We're identical."
Wow, we're identical.
Which is hilarious because they are twins. You know what I mean? Like, it's humor, not everyone understands that. So now, 7 Harry Potters are traveling across the skies, and the Death Eaters know the exact time and date of Harry Potter's departure from his home, Muggle home, which was protecting him. Dumbledore had created an extremely powerful protective charm around the house of the Dursleys, where he used to live with his aunt, uncle, and his cousin. And as long as he stays there and he's allowed to call that place home, or until he comes of age, which is 17 years in the wizarding world, he is protected very powerfully by deep magic from Lord Voldemort. But today is it's about to be his 17th birthday and the charm is going to break. Moreover, the Dursleys have left from that house and he can no longer call it home, so he needs to leave. So Lord Voldemort plans to ambush him in the skies, because once he's out of their reach, he's going to be in house of one of the Order of the Phoenix members. And the first thing is, there are like thousands of places he could be. There are so many headquarters of the Order of the Phoenix. He could be anywhere. And secondly, every single one of those places has been given the highest level of enchantments possible, including ministry enchantments, which are going to be able to keep Lord Voldemort out of the picture. So Voldemort's plan is to actually destroy the ministry, infiltrate the ministry, and kill the Minister for Magic before Saturday, which he knows is not going to happen. So he just has to take Harry Potter in the skies. But what the Death Eaters didn't know, fortunately, which Snape didn't know either, was that there'll be 7 Harry Potters flying across the sky. And they, obviously, Mad-Eye had predicted. Mad-Eye said that they will go to the people who are most powerful. So Voldemort first chased Mad-Eye, and then Voldemort chased Kingsley. One by one, he started reducing in order of power. So he never expected the real Harry to be with Hagrid. 4 Death Eaters actually chased Harry and Hagrid, and unfortunately, Harry's owl, Hedwig, was shot by the killing curse and she died. He couldn't believe it, obviously, and he didn't want to believe that she was dead. So he still took her cage, kept trying to keep her alive, until finally he had to get on the bike and he blew up the sidecar to stop the Death Eaters, and he felt a pang of guilt to see that Hedwig had died because of him. Now they reach into the first place from where they're supposed to be taking a portkey to Molly Weasley's house. So they immediately get there, but no one else has arrived because the Death Eaters had ambushed them. No one knows what is supposed to happen, and Harry and Hagrid just quickly grab the portkey and leave to the burrow, where Ginny and Molly are waiting for them. They hear the news that no one else has come and the Death Eaters were attacking them, so now they're terrified. So the first people to come are Lupin and George, I think. Obviously, Lupin and George have arrived. They've escaped from the Death Eaters. First thing Lupin does is slam Harry up against a wall and ask him which was the first creature that sat in the corner of my office the first time Harry Potter visited my office in Hogwarts. So Harry replied, a Grindylow in a tank, wasn't it? So, yeah, and Remus lets him go because Remus says that someone has betrayed them, because only the inner circle of the Order of the Phoenix knew that Harry was going to be moved at this date. But Harry pointed out the fact that if it was a betrayal, then the person who was supposed to tell the date and time would might as well have told the fact that there were going to be 7 Harry Potters, because everyone knew that. So that didn't happen, meaning it wasn't a betrayal. Now George lost an ear. Yeah, he lost an ear and it was just cut off by dark magic. Blood is pouring out of it. And when Fred actually comes to meet Fred asks George, how are you feeling? So he says, I'm holy. So Fred is like terrified. Is his mind affected or something? So George says, no, I'm holy, H-O-L-Y. Then he says, holy, H-O-L-E-Y. Holy, get it, Fred? So Fred, then they were still laughing. Again, book humor, you won't understand. Now the events that take place in between are basically, I'm going to tell you a completely spoiler-free version of them. Harry, Ron and Hermione have to leave on their quest to take out the Horcruxes, which can only be destroyed by extremely powerful magical objects, which are Basilisk Venom, a curse called Fiend Fire, or the Sword of Gryffindor, which is laced with Basilisk Venom, because in Chamber of Secrets, Harry had used it to stab the Basilisk. So the Horcruxes are, a few of them have already been destroyed. One is the ring, which Dumbledore destroyed in the previous book. Second is the diary, which again Harry destroyed in the second book. And then we have the diadem of Rowena Ravenclaw. We have the cup of Helga Hufflepuff, the locket of Salazar Slytherin, and finally Nagini, the snake, who is always with Voldemort. So towards the end of the book, Voldemort actually figures out that Harry has started hunting down Horcruxes, and he visits each of his places to try and get them. But he's unable to find them and he's furious. So finally, at the end, there's a war between Voldemort and his entire Death Eater army and the army of Hogwarts. The teachers have put on protective charms, and finally it comes down to the final battle. Now, spoiler segment. Yes, if you don't want to watch this, again, if you've not read the book or you don't want to hear any spoilers, again, you can just skip to the timestamps given in the description down below. But if you want to, stick around. So, first thing to know is Severus Snape is not evil. I love that guy from the bottom of my heart. He is one of my favorite characters in the entire book. He sacrificed everything in his life for Harry Potter. First thing, let's give you a little bit of a backstory. Harry's mother, Lily, and Snape knew each other when they were kids. They were both made fun of by the Muggle children for calling them freaks, including Lily's own cousin Petunia, who is Aunt Petunia, the Dursleys. So Snape and Lily knew each other from a very young age. When they went to Hogwarts, Lily was sorted into Gryffindor, where she met James Potter, and obviously Snape was sorted into Slytherin. I mean, there was no chance of him going to Gryffindor, was it? So slowly Lily and Snape started growing apart because of James Potter. Snape detested James Potter, Lily actually liked James Potter. And Snape used to keep making fun of them, and every time Lily used to make fun of James, Snape used to get extremely happy. Finally, towards the end of almost nearing the fall of Lord Voldemort, it was Snape who had actually told Voldemort that there's going to be a kid born who can kill him. But he didn't know that Voldemort would choose Lily Potter and James Potter's son. So Snape comes to Dumbledore and requests him to protect all of them. Dumbledore says, you want Lily to be protected and you don't care about her son or her husband. How selfish are you? So he says, protect them all. Dumbledore says, what will you give me in return? Snape looks calmly and says, anything. And this is after Snape's death in the movie, when Voldemort kills him for reasons I don't want to reveal. And Voldemort kills him, and Snape gives his memories to Harry. And Harry is viewing all of this from Snape's point of view through his memories. So then it cuts forward to after Voldemort's death. Dumbledore at that time is telling Snape that Harry Potter still lives and the Dark Lord is gone. Snape jerks his head because Lily is dead, James is dead, but Harry Potter still survives. Dumbledore says that he will need protection. Snape says, what protection? The Dark Lord is gone. He says the Dark Lord will return. Dumbledore knew all those years ago when Harry was a small little child that Tom Riddle had Horcruxes. Slowly, Snape started taking care of Harry carefully, but he made Dumbledore promise that Dumbledore won't tell anyone that he was taking care of Harry, because he couldn't bear for everyone to know he was taking care of his enemy, James Potter's son. Snape loved Lily Potter from the bottom of his heart, and he always felt that James never treated her right. So finally, the death between Snape and Dumbledore was planned. Dumbledore had told Snape to kill him so that Lord Voldemort could not get the Elder Wand. If the death was planned and Snape killed Dumbledore on Dumbledore's orders, then the Elder Wand, power of the Elder Wand, would die with Dumbledore because his last master had died undefeated. No one beat him in a duel. But Draco Malfoy disarmed Dumbledore at the top of the Astronomy Tower, and Draco Malfoy became the true owner of the Elder Wand. And later on in the book, where Harry disarms Draco from his wand, that's when the ownership of the Elder Wand transfers over to Harry, which is how he's able to kill Voldemort in the end. Snape killed Dumbledore, and then he became the headmaster for Hogwarts, and the ear which George had cut off was an accident by Snape. He was trying to attack a Death Eater to protect everyone, and the Death Eater's arm moved up and George's ear got cut. And the sword of Gryffindor was given in the forest to Hermione, Ron and Harry by Snape. He used a Patronus, which was Lily Potter's Patronus, and he used that to lead them to the sword of Gryffindor so that they could destroy Horcruxes. So Snape was guiding them all the way. A sad end to a great, great hero. Even Dumbledore himself said that you are a braver man than Karkaroff ever was. Sometimes I think that we sought too soon. And that hit Snape extremely hard because he wanted to go in Gryffindor, which is for the brave, so that he could be with Lily. Again, he felt that it was extremely unfair that he had to go in Slytherin, and he was the bravest man. At the end of the book, Harry's child, whose name is Albus Severus Potter, asks him what if he's in Slytherin. Harry says that you are named after two of the greatest headmasters of Hogwarts, Albus Severus Potter. One of them was a Slytherin, and he is the bravest man I have ever known. It is a perfect ending to an amazing book, and I really feel inclined to mention Dumbledore's last words here, which were Harry in a so-called heaven asked Dumbledore, is this all happening inside my head, or is this real? Dumbledore beamed happily, smiling, and says, of course it's happening inside your head, Harry, but why on earth would that mean that it's not real? On that note, long note, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this video, if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave a like and drop a subscription down below. You can drop a comment talking about any other book you want me to review, and I'll review it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm going to Hogwarts actually. I got my letter today, so I'm off. I have to duel or something. See you guys.